Get ready for a quick quest guide for the Bone Voyage Quest, in which the main reward for completing is access to Fossil Island, including the museum camp, various monsters, some hardwood farming patches, the deranged archaeologist boss, many underwater related activities, and more. Plus you'll also get 1 quest point. While the only prerequisite quest required is the Digsite, know that you'll also need to have earned 100 Kudos at the Varrock Museum. Additionally, while there are no skill requirements, having level 49 magic is really helpful for enchanting Digsite pendants, and having level 29 construction is hugely helpful for building the base camp following the quest, which will also be covered in this guide. Then in terms of items, you'll just need 1 unfinished Marrentill Potion as well as 2 vodkas. When it comes to recommended items, you'll want 1 stamina potion, weight reducing armor if you have access to it, and a fully charged Digsite pendant. You can unlock Digsite pendants by completing the Varrock Museum specimen cleaning activity following the Digsite quest, before then enchanting a ruby necklace with level 49 magic, and I'll have a link to completing this in the description. If you don't have a Digsite pendant, then you can alternatively bring along 4 Digsite teleport scrolls or even extra Varrock teleports. You will also want 2 Lumberyard teleport scrolls, a skills necklace for fast travel to the Woodcutting Guild, 1 Varrock teleport, and additionally an Amulet of Glory or Explorer's Ring 2 for getting to Port Sarum. While this will get you through the main quest, you'll also want to have a hammer, 2 oak planks, an iron bar, and 5 nails on you to immediately build a bank after arriving at Fossil Island. And building this requires level 21 construction. Then you'll also want more building supplies to build out the rest of the Fossil Island camp. This includes an additional 20 nails, 5 regular planks, 8 oak planks, 3 soft clay, 2 regular logs, 2 ropes, 1 iron bar, 1 bucket, and 1 tinderbox. With the exception of supplies needed to build the bank on Fossil Island, know that the rest can be tucked away in your bank at the quest start. If you're planning to unlock teleports around Fossil Island as well, then you'll also want a few pieces of high healing food, a second Digsite pendant, an additional stamina potion, an anti-poison potion, and then either the ability to tank a hit that'll do between 40 and 50 damage, plus potentially another hit of up to 10 after. Alternatively, if you can't tank a hit that big, then you'll want an axe and a rake to traverse the swamp. For both methods, you'll want some food to heal, but particularly if you're traversing the swamp, bring extra food. Again, all items for unlocking transportation around Fossil Island can be banked at the quest start. In short, if you're looking at my inventory now, everything that's noted can be banked at the start of the quest. Now you can begin this quest on the ground floor of the museum in Eastern Varrock. To start, talk to Curator Hey Kaylin and begin by asking, have you any interesting news? And then after going through some more chatter, select yes to officially begin the quest. Now rub your Digsite pendant to teleport to the Digsite before running east to the ship. If you're using Digsite teleport scrolls, then you'll be running northeast, or alternatively you can just run east from Varrock. After arriving, talk to the barge foreman and go through the chat. And after you've finished, then use your Lumberyard teleport to land right in front of the sawmill. Talk to the sawmill operator a little north and say, I'm here on behalf of the museum archaeological team. And after some more chatter, he will hand you a sawmill proposal. Now use your skills necklace to teleport to the Woodcutting Guild, and then try and enter the gate. If you're over level 60 woodcutting, then you'll need to enter the guild, whereby you'll want to run west to the sawmill within the Woodcutting Guild and talk to the sawmill operator before saying, I'm here on behalf of the museum archaeological team, and going through the chat to see your sawmill proposal turn into a sawmill agreement. If you're under 60 woodcutting, then you'll be stopped at the gate, and you'll want to go through some dialogue with Berry, which will effectively complete the same step. Now use another Lumberyard teleport to travel to the Lumberyard and chat to the sawmill operator north. Once again say, I'm here on behalf of the museum archaeological team, and then go through the dialogue. Next, use your Digsite pendant to teleport to the Digsite, and then run east and chat to the barge foreman. Following the chat, right-click the barge guard and select board to go onto the ship. Once you're on the ship, locate and talk to the lead navigator, and after beginning the chat, say, yep, that would be me, before following this up by saying, I'm aware, no need to tell me about them, to then find out that the voyage is apparently cursed. After the chat finishes, use your Amulet of Glory to teleport to Draenor Village and then run west to the pub in Port Sarum, making use of the underwall tunnel shortcut if you have level 42 agility in order to speed up the trip. Alternatively, you can use your Explorer's Ring 2 to travel to the Cabbage Patch and then run south. Once inside the pub, locate Jack Seagull and talk to him, and when the dialogue options pop up, ask him, "Ever made any cursed voyages?" and then go through the rather long chat. Now again, teleport to the Digsite and then run east and select to board the boat, before talking to the lead navigator once again and going through the chat, whereby you'll agree to get a lucky charm and a potion to prevent your voyage from being cursed. Right-click the barge and choose to deboard the ship, and now make your way north, looping west and back east around the very tall hill to get there, and then continue north into the limestone mine where you'll find an odd old man. Select to talk to the odd old man and begin by choosing to talk about lucky charms, and after some more chatter say, "I'm making a cursed voyage." The odd old man will then give you a bone charm free of charge. Next, teleport to Varrock and then run southwest to the apothecary. Begin your chat with the apothecary by saying talk about something else, and then talk about Bone Voyage, before going through the rest of the chat. After it finishes, talk to the apothecary again and then select the exact same chat options. So firstly, talk about something else, and afterwards talk about Bone Voyage, and he will then mix and hand you the potion of sea legs. Now teleport back to the Digsite before running east and choosing to board the ship on the barge guard. Once aboard, talk to the lead navigator and go through the chat, whereby you'll hand him the potion of sea legs. Following this, talk to the junior navigator to hand over the bone charm, and after a little more dialogue, select "I'm ready, let's go," to then embark on a voyage to Fossil Island. Only, on the way, the crew passes out from the potion of sea legs, which is just alcohol, and so after a long chat with the junior navigator, you'll enter a minigame-like situation whereby you'll need to steer the ship to Fossil Island. The top arrow tells you if you're going in the right direction. If it's pointing north, you're good, but even if you're just a little off to each side, you'll start losing progress on the progress bar at the top that you need to fill to reach Fossil Island. Whenever the arrow tilts to the side, you'll need to steer the ship to correct it. If it tilts left, then click the bottom right button. If it tilts right, then click the bottom left button. If the arrow is pointing directly north, try to straighten up the ship by making the direction visual straight. If the arrow is really off course, then you can also slow down the ship until it's fixed so that you don't lose progress as fast. It's a little bit finicky, but eventually you'll arrive at Fossil Island, and in doing so, bam, quest complete. You'll be awarded access to Fossil Island and 1 quest point. But stay with me, because we're about to knock out some important post-quest things. After finishing the quest, the junior navigator will hand you a Fossil Island notebook, and you will then want to select travel on the junior navigator to land on Fossil Island. Provided that you have 29 construction, it's time to repair the museum camp. Start by running east to the bank sign and selecting to build the chest pieces to create a bank, and following this bank and deposit your book and your teleports. However, keep one form of teleportation for once you've fully completed. Then grab 5 regular planks, 6 oak planks and a rope, and also ensure that you have at least 20 nails and a hammer in your inventory. Then run northwest and choose to build on the half-built loom and the spinning wheel to restore them to working condition. Once they're both restored, run southeast, going up the hill in the process, and then choose to build the table parts to create a fossil cleaning station. Following this, return to your bank and grab some more supplies, including 2 oak planks, 2 regular logs, 3 soft clay, an iron bar, a rope, a tinderbox and a bucket. Plus you should also have 5 nails remaining in your inventory. Then nearby the bank will be a fire pit. Choose to build on the fire pit to restore it to a cooking pot. Afterwards, just to the east of the fire pit will be a ring of stone. Select to build on the ring of stone to create a well. Congrats, the museum site is now repaired. You'll then simply want to run west and talk to Peter, who's panning. Select to talk about the island camp, and after some dialogue, Peter will hand you 5 unidentified small fossils. Now run east back to the fossil cleaning bench and choose to take tools on the crate before wearing the gloves and boots. Then use your fossils on the bench one by one to clean them before going a tad southwest to the fossil storage and selecting deposit all. Now head back to the bank because it's time to prepare for teleportation unlocks to and around Fossil Island. To unlock the teleport to Fossil Island, you'll need a Digsite pendant, and you'll also be using a few charges of this pendant as we unlock the 4 mush trees that provide teleports around the island. As Digsite pendants vanish to dust when their charges run out, ensure that you have a fully charged Digsite Digsite pendant or that you have a second one. I really do suggest having a Digsite pendant before going for these unlocks, but know that you can still unlock the Mush Tree teleportation without it, though it'll require a little bit more running. You'll also want your stamina potions, weight reducing armor, an anti-poison or super anti-poison, and quite a few pieces of high healing food. If you can't tank a one-time hit of between 40 and 50 hit points, then you'll also want to bring along an axe and a rake. Finally, ensure that you have a teleport out for the end. Now from the camp, let's begin by running a rather long way south along the coastline until you see a hill that you can climb to your east. Go east up this hill and then on the minimap you'll see a transport icon. Click on that transport icon and you'll then automatically run around and down into the small chasm to it. Click on the Mush Tree to activate it, and that's your first teleport unlocked. Now either return to camp back the way that you came, or alternatively teleport to the Digsite and run east before choosing to quick travel on the barge guard to arrive back at the camp. After arriving, you simply want to run northwest, all the way until you reach the transportation sign that's just a little north of the dungeon sign. And here will be another magic mush tree that you can click on to activate. Following this, run a little southwest, and just below the farming area, you will notice a path to your east, which you will then want to take and continue east, climbing up the ladder and crossing the bridge between the trees before going back down it. Then run northeast and cross the bridge before following the shore around to the northwest and climbing up the stairs to reach the house on the hill. You'll notice a magic mush tree just to your north. Select to use it and then you're good to go. It's unlocked. Additionally, to the south of this house, you'll see a strange machine. Use your Digsite pendant on the strange machine, and this will unlock the Fossil Island teleport on the pendant, which brings you to the house on the hill. Now for the fourth and final mush tree, you'll once again want to use a Digsite pendant to travel to the Digsite, and then quick travel on the barge guard to reach the main camp. Note, if you don't have a pendant, then simply run to the fourth mush tree from your current location. If traveling from the main camp, you simply need to run a short ways west to the birdhouse sign on the minimap, which is located right at the entrance to the Tar Swamp. You'll now have two options for getting to the final mush tree. The first is to run a tad west and take a somewhat deadly shortcut that will deal between 40 and 50 damage. Be sure to heal up right after landing, as there's a risk of being hit an additional 10 or so damage from the spine mushroom as you walk west to the mush tree. And if hit, this mushroom can also poison you, so in that instance drink your anti-poison potion. If you have the hit points to survive, then honestly I suggest doing this, because it's both far easier and arguably even safer than the alternative. If you don't have the hit points to survive this, then you'll be doing option 2, meaning that you'll need a rake, an axe, and food, and you will need to make your way to the mush tree on foot. Head a tad southwest of the swamp entrance and then take a sip of your stamina potion and anti-poison potion. Also turn off auto retaliate, which makes things a little bit easier. I forgot to do this. Then make your way continually south through the swamp. Use your axe to clear thick vines, your rake to clear floor vines, and heal as needed. Along the way, you'll be attacked by level 138 monsters that deal typeless damage that cannot be protected against. It's not worth trying to defend against them, but luckily they only have a max hit of 7, so as long as you're well stocked on food, you should be able to tank their hits pretty easily. Once you reach the bottom of the swamp, go east, and then just a tad north you'll see the magic mush tree where you can activate it and teleport out. Again, try to stay away from the spine mushroom just in case. And with that, we're at the end. That's a guide to the Bone Voyage Quest and important post-quest things. Thanks so much for watching, catch you in the next quest.